right, man. I went to see John Wick from the world of John Wick, the Ballerina. Um, it was solid. It was a solid movie. It was a solid movie, man. Yeah, it was a solid movie, man. Uh, so there was a lot of killing. It was what you expect, from John Wick. I guess they, gonna go out there and do their own universe or whatever like that. And it was a good storyline. Now, was it something that was, blowing you out the water? Like, no. I think I like Mission Impossible better than this, but some people might like this better than Mission Impossible because it was shorter. It was about an hour shorter, but I think Mission Impossible was better than this. But I mean, it's kind of Mission Impossible more more action, kind of different type of action, stunts and all this. But in this one, they was killing from the beginning. It had a couple people in it from if you ever watched the Umbrella Academy on the Umbrella Academy on Netflix. I liked the show. I didn't like the way it ended, but it had David Castanda. He was Diego in Umbrella Academy, and he was in it. He was in it in the beginning. He was the ballerinas, and Amas. He was or Eva Macatro. I can't pronounce that. He was her father in the beginning of the movie, and also had Allison in there. They don't have her right here in a guest list, but obviously Keanu Reeves, he made an appearance. Norman Reedus, with some people that you may or may not notice on here, but and we could read the kind of like the synopsis, and they kind of rated it how I rated it. And it's always kind of hard too when you kind of do a female version. You kind of do a female version of something. That's always hard to do. When you do a female version of something and it's a male predominantly type of thing, kind of like when Marvel is going with the whole female movement with Ironheart, and then the Thunderbolts with Natasha's sister and the Thunderbolts, and they kind of going with the She-Hulk thing. It's kind of hard for people's stomach. And what people don't understand is similar to the WNBA, where you have women who complain about women should be making the same amount of money as men, but on the other end, they don't support the shows. I feel like more men supported a lot of this female stuff, the WNBA, or even you could just take sports out of it. They supported more men and support this movie. You're gonna hear women support this movie, but guess what? This movie is a man's movie. It's an action movie. Men want to go there and see killing like this and see action like this. So when you put a woman, and she did an excellent job, Anna de Armas, she did a great job. You know what I'm saying? When you put them in there, and I know Lance Reddick died, but he was in there, so I don't know if they edited it up or whatever. But yeah, when you do that, it's kind of it's hard. It's hard to try to break a female. It's hard to break a female in a male's genre, especially when you started off as a in a John Wick as being a man, but an assassin trained in tradition of the Ruska Roma organization sets out to seek revenge after her father's death. So, in the lamest terms, that's it in the lamest terms. That's the movie. That's the movie in its lamest terms, and that's what a movie that got all this killing. You don't want all that dialect, kind of like with Mission Impossible. You just get into the killing. That was what 90s movies was about. A little bit of dialect, enough for you to understand what's going on, a bunch of fucking killing. And that's what this movie was on, a bunch of freaking killing. And basically it started off kind of explaining like very vague about her father. They came to hunt her father down. They sent her mother to the upper room, and her father was basically, it was his fault. He broke some type of code or something, so they was coming to take them out. He saved her, then he got hit, he passed, and then basically she had a choice to go train with the assassins or live a regular life, and she chose to train with the Roman or Roca, whatever assassins, and that's exactly what happened. She chose that life to be an assassin. Her father was an assassin. Now she didn't know she had a sister, and she found this secret organization. They basically like a assassin organization, but with no code. The other, I forget what the other organization was called, but they don't have no code. And the Roma, the one she with, they fear them. You can tell in the movie they fear them. They fear them. You know what I'm saying? And she went against the grain, and she went after them because they killed her father, and they found out they killed their mother. They found out they was harboring her sister. Her sister had killed somebody early. She killed somebody early. So once she made that first kill, her and her sister made their first kills, which was at separate times. It was a wrap. They was assassins, and that's why she chose to be an assassin and not use the, you know, and go and live a normal life. She had already killed somebody to save her father's life. So her and her sister, they find each other and stuff and whatever, but I ain't gonna give all that away. And she seek to get revenge. Now, long story short, a very important part of this was they sent John Wick to stop her from, because they didn't want no friction with the other assassin crew because they feared them. They sent John Wick to go get her. And John Wick, and she explained to John Wick, like, yo, shit, he's like, you got into midnight. He helped her, and they took him down. They took him down, but, for the most part, they still going to be gunning for her. So it may be a part 2. Now, if you go to Google and you start kind of looking at these reviews, it ain't the highest Google review I didn't seen at all. Hold on. It ain't the highest Google review you gonna see. So, they got a 77% user like from the fans. And IMDb got it like where I got a 75%, Metacritic's 59%, Rotten Tomatoes 75. I got around average 77 out of 10. So you got the users, 86. The Ballerina is shockingly really good. I did expect it to be decent, but it's definitely went past my expectations. Originally, the thing I was most excited about before seeing this one was to see John Wick again. But it turns out that even if he weren't in the film, the movie would have ended up being as good. The scenes with John Wick were amazing, but every scene that didn't include him was equally as good. I like Eve's character more than I expected to, and even though he wasn't in the movie that much, I did enjoy the scenes with Norman Reedus as Daniel Pine. So I believe Norman Reedus, I believe he was from the Walking Dead, and I could be wrong. I just started watching The Walking Dead. Yes, he was in The Walking Dead. So he was Daryl. Yeah, he was Daryl in The Walking Dead. So that's what he got. He was really good as Daryl, too. He had that crazy ass brother, though. Brother was crazy as hell. The Wick universe, you're going to watch regardless. It's the Wick universe. You're going to watch regardless. Just grab popcorn and suspend your disbelief and enjoy another round of John Wick. We start with plot holes, inconsistently and logical, mind-boggling. We ended up ruining all the fun. That's all. But if you need to know, I think it's me. Could it have been done better? I get it. It's the Wick universe, but not a scratch, not a bruise on Eve. She's what? No, I would disagree. She got stabbed. Yeah, she did. She got stabbed and beat up in the movie, but they did keep her pretty. So I understand his whole thing. So for the most part, the fans pretty liked it. It was just straight killing. I thought it was a solid movie. So I thought it was really, really solid. So but hey, let me know what y'all think about it, man. If y'all seen it, if y'all gonna see it, really in these type of movies, there's really no spoilers, bro. Honestly, it's really when you get into these movies, it's really no spoilers. So yeah, it ain't really no spoilers. Y'all know they getting jiggy. They getting jiggy, bruh, from the beginning. So it was a good movie, man. I think it was pretty good. 7 out of 10. That's kind of how I see it. Yeah, I see a 7 out of 10. Solid movie. But that's just my opinion on it, man. But yeah, all the scenes was pretty good, but the whole thing about it, she did get stabbed and beat up a little bit in this movie. but they did keep her pretty. So dude got a point. But I hit the link in the description. Join the Patreon. Follow me on X, Instagram, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon. Everything is in the link tree in the description. It's the first link in the description. Let me know what you think. Peace. And check out the movie review playlist.